First water change was when?
September 5th, 2016.
And I'm so glad I put dirt in the bottom of this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, you can just see the valve. I can't believe how it just grew in.
And a lot of these little ones, some of them would float up and come out.
Yeah.
But now they're all stuck in. So when you look
yeah.
on this side, you can see the root system. The roots are really good.
I love that we did it both ways too.
Way in there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is a cool plant, man. This all looks great, and these angels are awesome. You can tell you feed them.
Yeah, those are
because they're looking right at you like, hey.
Yeah.
Good setup, dude. Yeah, you got some cool driftwood in here.
How sick would that tank be with the school of tetras? How sick would this tank be with the school of tetras? What's up, fish tank people? FishTankTV.com, Dustin's Fish Tanks, bringing it to you with them Techno Tetra tips on a Tuesday. Oh yeah. And if it's not Tuesday, they're just Tetra tips. So why am I bringing you this video in a room where there isn't a fish tank? Well, at one point in my life when I actually had a pair, there was a 125-gallon aquarium in this room. However, that tank had to be removed when we decided to do a remodel. Happy wife, happy life. Remember that, fellas. So the 125 had to go, and it's actually out in my greenhouse. But at one point, that 125-gallon, wonderfully planted, first time I ever dirted a tank aquarium was stacked with a bunch of tetras. And that's what we're gonna talk about today, folks. We're talking tetras on a Techno Tuesday. Say that a bunch of times fast. Just want to show this tank. Got some diamond tetras in here. Diamond tetras, if you do big water changes and you have a good healthy diet and a lot of plants, they breed. You'll see that tiny little one, littler one in there. I didn't buy them like that. It bred. So pretty pumped about that. I've been feeding them a mix of New Life Spectrum and then this other thicker Meteor Flake. So they're doing well with it. I don't know. This tank does well. I'm pretty happy. I still haven't bought the chair. That's too close. That's better. It's getting better. Okay, that's better. All right, I feel good. Okay, so where do tetras come from? Tetras primarily come from South America. They do have some that come from Africa. And if you can get your hands on some African tetras, I suggest that you do so because they are pretty sweet. I have personally been to South America not once but twice, down to Iquitos, Peru, and had an absolute riot collecting these suckers. So I got a little something to tell you about it. What people don't understand about the Amazon is this. The Amazon is made up of a bajillion rivers that run all throughout it. And the Amazon River Basin, I've said it before, is like as big as the United States is, okay? So the Amazon River Basin is huge. These tetras come from the Amazon River Basin, but it's a like bajillion tributaries all over the place in the Amazon with all of these unique rivers and unique waters and unique fish that come from these. To give it some perspective, my man Devin, who emailed me the other day and is trying to get me to go back to Peru when I really want to go, I asked him, I said, Devin, how much of the Amazon have you seen? He said, maybe 1%. Okay, so the Amazon River Basin is just ginormous. And we need to think about that just as a backdrop when we're going to talk about tetras. Because we say tetras, there's millions. And like, I mean, probably there's probably thousands of species of tetras, because what happens is they get into all these little like rivers and tributaries, and it floods and they go out, and then it dries up, and then they're trapped in these little areas, and then they breed, and then that little bit of a tetra develops in that tiny little stream. So there's so many varieties of tetras because there's so many different little like channels and canals and everything all over the Amazon. So with that as a backdrop, I want to talk about keeping tetras. Alright, so we know the tetras come from all over the wonderful Amazon, and what that means is when they come from all over the wonderful Amazon, they're going to come from all over different types of water parameters. So here's Techno Tetra tip number 1, and that is this. Find out what tetras you're trying to keep, where they are from. So if you're looking at rummy nose tetras, look, I've done videos about rummy nose tetras. They're one of the coolest low schooling fish around. However, rummy nose tetras come from a super duper low pH, and I don't like for people to go against the tide with their aquarium. So if you're running a higher pH tank, you don't want to mess with rummy nose tetras, you don't want to mess with cardinal tetras unless you're willing to do the work to make that pH lower. So Techno Tetra tip number 1, Find out where the tetras you're thinking about keeping are from first, and does the water where they're from match the water of what you're trying to put them in. Second Techno Tetra tip is this. When you're buying tetras, tetras are a schooling fish, okay? So get a nice school of tetras. Tetras love to be kept in groups. There's comfort in groups. There's love in groups. Do you know what it's doing to my soul to only have 2 Peruvian bloodfin tetras in here and only 2 neon tetras in here right now? It's killing me. Tetras are meant to be kept in schools. Here's another tetra tip for you. You're not Noah. It's not raining. You don't have an ark, okay? You only want to get 1, maybe 2 different species of tetra in your aquarium. Get a lot of 1 type of fish. Do not get 2 of this type of tetra and 2 of this type of tetra and 2 of this type of tetra and 2 of this type of tetra. I'm not practicing what I'm preaching right now with my 220, but only get 1 type or 2 types max. And when you get them, get a lot of them. But more on that in a second. Here's another Techno Tetra tip. While we're only getting 1 species, maybe 2 max, and we're gonna get a lot of those species, we're not gonna add a lot of fish at one time to your aquarium. We're not gonna do that with whether we're adding all kinds of different types of fish, but particularly tetras. Even though you want that schooling effect of a lot of fish, you really only wanna add, say, 4 or 5 of 1 type of a tetra at a time, so get like your 5 neons. Then wait 2 weeks, let the bioload catch up, make sure nobody's dying, make sure everything is good, then add a bit few more. And these guys are coming out for us. Thanks for making it out, Cherry Shrimp. Appreciate you. Good work, guys. Right on cue. That's impressive. You guys like the beats, huh? You like that, Sasha? Okay. Cool. Hi, Boost.
But this is going to be fun in 220. I'm really excited about it. The most I've ever kept in one spot was about 50, and that was back in college. So definitely good stuff.
Another tip for you about tetras. They're not gonna be the first one on the dance floor when the DJ drops them sick beats. No sir. Tetras, generally speaking, are gonna be kind of lower in the pecking order in your aquarium. So you're gonna add a bunch of neon tetras, but you got an angelfish. That angelfish is gonna run around and kind of punk them out a little bit. So tetras are gonna be skittish. There is protection in numbers. There's a reason they are a schooling fish. So like I said a minute ago, make sure that you have a lot of a school. Now, there are 2 fun parts to this. Hear that voice crack? I get excited talking about techno. 2 fun parts to this is this. 1, you get a ridiculous school of fish. You have some sort of other, like, you know, here's the school of tetras, here's giant big centerpiece fish, and this giant big centerpiece fish keeps all the tetras in a school. And that's cool and that's all right or whatever. And if you want the schooling effect, that's fine, but you know, Big Daddy over here is gonna dominate them. Or, and here's a fun part that I kind of learned, and you can click links around here, check out my community fish behavior video from back in the day. It's this. One of the things that I love about tetras and a lot of schooling fish in general is this effect of when you have a large school of fish, and that large school of fish is chilling. They'd be like, yeah, man, everything is good, bro. And they're all spread out and they're all over the place and they're relaxed and they're calm. You don't have the schooling effect. So some of you want the schooling effect. We'll get your aggressive fish and then we'll make them school. But when they're all chill, and I had this in a 40 tall, and man, I wish I was making videos back in 2005 about this tank. But I had 40 neon tetras and there was no predator fish, just a couple of cories. They would spread out all over the place. And what this would do is fantastic, and if you can get your tank to do this, please do. It's this. When there's a giant school, only they're spread out and they're totally chill, all the other fish in your aquariums, those crazy plecos that you never see, your horseface loach that you never see, your school of cory cats, everybody is signaled by those tetras. When the tetras are chilling, when the tetras are on the dance floor and they're calm, everybody else in the aquarium is like, oh son, it's time to come out, bro. Bro, it's time to come out, man. I'm gonna be along the bottom. I'm gonna be chilling. The Corey cats will be hanging out. They'll all be in a school. Like the awesome plecos you have at the bottom will be swimming around. So when you get yourself a nice school of tetras and everybody is happy, the tetras make everybody come out. And do me a favor, drop me a comment on what kind of tetras you would put in this wonderfully overgrown, dirted 75-gallon in-wall aquarium. And drop me a comment on your favorite type of tetra and why. Click the links around here for more videos on tetras, videos from Peru, and videos of me setting up that 75-gallon in-wall aquarium a year and a half ago. Everybody make it a fabulous freaking week. Talk to you mañana, and tank on. Later.